You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. This is the Monday Night Community Show with me, Daniel, on our very own community radio station, 95.6 of BRFM. And now it's time to hear the selection of interviews I did at the latest Ideas Test Swale and Medway event. This is what happened when I caught up with the people at the event. We're now going to be talking to Steph. Steph, as always, it's good to catch up with you.
It's good to see you too, Daniel.
I was hoping you could just introduce yourself to our listeners first.
Okay, so I'm Steph Fuller. I'm the creative enabler for Ideas Test, and I've been working on this project for 19 months now.
I was hoping you could let our listeners know a little bit about what's been happening so far.
Okay, so we started off by running a small grants programme. So we've been supporting local people to come up with ideas and test those out. We've funded 64 projects. We've supported over 100 artists. We've reached over 15,000 people in the time that we've been going. So lots and lots of stuff has happened. We're also doing a lot of work around networking and bringing artists and other people together to generate ideas. And yeah, it's been a really, really busy time.
So tell us a little bit about this event this evening.
Okay, so this is one of our Ideas Testing Network events. So we're bringing together community catalysts, who are people that we're working with because they're kind of local doers and movers and shakers, and people that we've given grants to, and people who've been involved in some of the projects we're supported, because we really want to take stock and look back. We're about halfway through our funded period, so it's about looking back at what we've done and what's been learnt from that, and then looking forwards, thinking about what can we do in the future, how can we use that learning and share it with more people. Are there areas where we think there's lots more to do? And also we really want to know from our community what they think is the most important about things that we're doing.
I was going to say that's one of the important things, because obviously Ideas Test had an initial time limit, and to me, being involved in it, it's important that it does carry on, because there's been lots of projects I've come across interviewing people, so we want that to carry on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think for us, we didn't start out with the idea that we would become a kind of a big organisation and that would need sort of feeding itself. But I think having been here for a while, I think it's fair to say that lots of people have benefited from what we've been doing in all sorts of different ways, and also that we feel that there's lots more that could be done. So at the moment we're funded up until June 2016, but there's an opportunity for us next year to apply for some more money to keep the project going. So we really need to start thinking about what that future would look like, and then that will be built into the plan for what we do next.
Was there anything else you'd like to cover?
Just how really great it is to be in a room with such a lot of fantastic people that we've worked with over the last sort of year and a half. It's just amazing to see, artists, participants, people from community organisations, all talking to each other. Lots of them didn't know each other when we started, and now they're all part of a kind of wider network, and it's just really exciting to see that, and also to see what's coming out of it. So people are generating new projects, people are meeting other people and going off doing stuff together, people are getting funding to carry on their stuff from other sources, and that's just all really exciting. It makes it feel like we're really having an impact.
And of course, listeners can find out about Ideas Test on their website. What is that address?
Yeah, so the website is www.ideastest.co.uk, or you can find us on Twitter and Facebook if you just search for Ideas Test.
As always, thank you very much, Steph.
Thank you.
I'm Tamara Gummer, and I'm a singer and also the treasurer of Medway-based River Voice Choir.
Well, actually, saying that, could you tell us about the Medway Choir first?
We started up in the beginning of 2013 with 6 vocal workshops that were run for visually impaired participants, and that was run in Medway by musical director Tanya Holland. I was one of the original members, and we enjoyed it so much that after that 6 weeks we decided actually we want to continue, and we set about discovering how to become a not-for-profit organisation. We also wanted to open up to people who were not visually impaired, so we will accept anybody as a member. It's an adult choir, so at the moment anyway, so any over 18s as a member can join. And we applied for some funding from ideastest last year in September 2013, and we were granted that funding to help us build some skills of sustainability. So where we have visually impaired members of the choir, they are encouraged to, in fact, our entire board at the moment are visually impaired. And we encourage the VI participants as much as anybody else to get out there and advertise us and get involved with the running of the group, audience development and group development as well. So
I think you touched upon it a little bit, but I know you're working on a current project and you've also done a project. So I was hoping, could you tell our listeners exactly what the project was that you've done and the outcomes of that?
Yes, so the project that we did last year was called Building Skills of Sustainability, and we received funding to have to organise some workshops for our members to learn how to do successful marketing skills and fundraising skills and bits like that. We also were able to partake in a premiere performance of a work called Lachrymose by current composer Jonathan Herring, who was commissioned to do this to celebrate the lives lost at sea during the First World War, or all the World War. So as part of that project, we were able to join in that piece of work and premiere with the other community groups in Margate doing that as a performance piece.
So what is the project you're currently working on?
Okay, so now what we'd like to do is take it's called Sharing Our Song, and we'd like to take it to other groups across Swale and Medway. These could be any groups from, say for example, we've got other visually impaired groups who haven't yet been involved with River Voice and singing, or staff in various shopping stores, or other groups such as war veterans who wouldn't necessarily find a vocal workshop or think about going to a vocal workshop necessarily, and we want to take it to them and show them what our choir is and what we do and how we learn, because obviously being visually impaired we don't actually use score most of the time. It's a listen and repeat approach that we have to music, and we're taking these workshops, which are singing for health, out to other groups and get them to enjoy it, and also hopefully do a couple of little scratch performances at the end of each workshop so that they can learn a couple of songs, join in with the River Voice members, and then River Voice will give them a short performance as well. That's hopefully.
Is there any way our listeners can find out more about your organisation, like a website or contact details?
Absolutely, we have a Facebook page. It is just River Voice on the Facebook. So if you just look up River Voice, and there's a little, I don't know what they call the icons, but it's an icon with a music sign on it. So that's us. We're a community choir. We have a gold on black logo, so you'll know us when you get to our page. We also have a Twitter page. Now, what was that? I need to remember that. That's at River Voice Media. And people can also contact me on my email, which is t.s for sugar .gummer, GUMMER, the number 2 at hotmail.co.uk, or phone me on 07919 134 154.
I'd like to thank you very much for telling us all about what you've been doing.
No, thanks for having me. It's great meeting you.
So we're doing a selection of interviews at one of the Ideas Test events at Sunpier House in Medway. I'm joined with a couple of people. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves first of all.
So hi, I'm Gordon Lamont. I live in Sittingbourne, and I'm what's called a content creator these days, meaning I do create content for online, film and written material as well.
Hello, my name is Thomas. I work for the SkillNet group.
So what's your role been in this project and Ideas Test?
Well, as I'm sure Tom will explain, the Pulse Cafe in Sittingbourne works with people with and without learning difficulties. And we got chatting. I'm a local filmmaker, amongst other things, and we got chatting and came up with this idea of what we originally called a creative coffee break. When people come into the cafe, there's something creative for them to do. But we worked on that for a while, and it evolved into this idea called memory generation, where we would run an event with lots of memories of Sittingbourne for young and older people. And they come together and be inspired and given creative opportunities to create material that would end up in the Pulsing magazine and in a short film that I made. In fact, in the end, I made 2 short films. They explain the process, but they also give tips and ideas so that this idea can be spread around other cafes and other areas so that people can introduce their own versions of it.
So I was hoping you could tell us what your role's been.
My role in the event was I ran a print working workshop, and we did like quick sort of mono prints, so they were like quick, easy to do. So then it was just a quick process of like quick memories, quick sort of generating, and then so we just like produced as many as they liked until they sort of run out of their memories or run out of ideas. And then after that, it was all documented in the pulsing that we do, and the issue what's out now is called Remembering, and it's got the event and like some like little activity sheets for people to sort of do within their coffee break and to help regenerate memory generation.
So can you get that from the Pulse Cafe?
Yes, we can. Yes, you can. You can also find the book online on their website as well, which is www.skillnetgroup.co.uk.
Was there anything else you wanted to cover?
I will just say that watching Tom work on the day was really inspirational, and the work that came through, and you can see it in the films, when people responded and got their memories jogged, it was just a joy. And we had several people who came along and said, oh no, I'll just have a coffee, I don't want to be involved. And then gradually they got pulled in, and in the end they were really enthusiastic in pulling other people in. Tremendous day.
So we're continuing to talk to lots of different people at this latest Ideas Test event in Medway. I'm joined with another person who's going to tell me about their project. Firstly, could you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, I'm Justin, and I'm a community catalyst working on the Isle of Sheppey in Sheerness, helping young people from across Swale and Medway create their own arts festival called YAF Sheppey, Young Artists Festival Sheppey.
So what's that going to involve?
I'm glad you asked me that, Daniel, because it's been a fantastic few months of getting young people together to create some ideas for what they'd like to see in their exhibition. It's going to take place over 2 days, and what it involves is taking over unusual spaces. So we're taking over Sheerness County Youth Club and turning it into a nightclub for the evening, and we're taking over Sheppey Healthy Living Centre and Sheppey Leisure Complex, which is part of the gym and swimming bars, and turning it into an exhibition space, film space, performance space and art gallery for the day on January the 31st, with the music night happening on January the 30th.
So how can our listeners find out more about that?
Well, Ideas Test have been great in blogging about what we've been doing, and we've created this fantastic little website called YAF Sheppey, which you can find at www.yafsheppey.blogspot.co.uk, and YAF is spelled YAF Sheppey, Young Artist Festival Sheppey. Or if you go onto the Ideas Test website, you'll find all the information there. We're looking for young artists to participate. If you're a musician, a songwriter, a performer, a filmmaker, an artist, you make sculptures, you've written something in a journal, or you've just done a drawing in a book, come along. We'll put it in a picture frame, we'll exhibit it, we'll show it on a TV screen in our cinema space, or we'll get you in our cafe on a mic performing to an audience. That's a fantastic opportunity, and if you're aged from 0 to 25, come along. For the younger ones, your mum or parent or carer might like to be with you, and we've got some craft workshops and some activities. Most of it is free. The only cost is for the music night, and it's £1 to get in and hear a bunch of great DJs and local musicians perform for the evening.
Well, thank you very much for telling us all about your event.
Daniel, thanks so much for letting me speak today, and hopefully more young people will come along, want to submit artwork, or even just come along for the day to Sheppey Healthy Living Centre, which is part of the Leisure Complex in Sheerness, or to Sheerness Youth County Youth Club.